stop number 29 on the Castrol GTX Cup Series brings us to the shortest and the slowest of the short tracks, Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia, as we're here today for the running of the Goody's 500, as we're set for 75 laps of racing here today on this .526 mile paperclip shaped racetrack. And here's the starting line of today's running event. On the pole, we mentioned this guy's been qualifying really well lately. Well, he's on the pole again. Christian Russell, I think it's his third pole this season in the last 4 or 5 races, whichever. But he's in number 7, Xerox Antifreeze Ford. He's alongside Kyle Matthews in car 42. The Meliella Pontiac, believe it or not, he's not yet won this season. In fact, remember last season he didn't get his first one until this very race. So can he do it again? Well, we'll find out. Second row sees Nathan Orman in car number 6 and number 68 Kev Shears. Third row sees car 20 sees the top 2 in points. Quentin Moore in 21 and Jessica Shelton in number 9. Both of them have won a race this season. Shelton's won twice and Quentin's won once. Levi McIntyre in 17 and Keith Batson have row number 4, car 28. And both have won a race as well this season too. Next row has Rob Evans in number 12 and Zachary Fitzwater in car number 19. Or car number 29, excuse me. Next row sees car 14. It is Ryan George in the Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet and Cole Deaver in the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet car number 3. Next row is Joshua Osborne in 31 and 26. Matt McIntyre in the Quaker State Ford. Next row down sees car number 24, Charles Sanford, and beside him will be car 70, Wade Brummer. Next row is number 52, Seth Cole. And number 43, it is Mike Becker sitting alongside. Seth is one of our 3 in-car cameras into this race, by the way, today, too. Next row is Dylan Poteet in 22 and 55, Nathan Hudson. Next row sees number 66, Ryan Brommer. And number 5, Phil Parker, the Daytona 500 winner. Brommer was the winner of the 600 at Charlotte. Next row is the S.J. Jefferson in car number 30, and beside him in car number 25, Benjamin Miles. And next row is car number 94, Jesse Turner, who won the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. And number 15, it is Jackson Haywood, who pulled off that tremendous win at the second race of the season, second race at Talladega this season. Next row is our second in-car camera. It is Dylan Young in number 2, and number 4, William Brock. And next row is car number 8, Johnny Gardner, and beside him will be number 27, Kat Batson. Next row down sees Zach Rogers in car number 1. Beside him will be car number 71. It is Henry Sanford. Zach has won 4 times this season so far. He won at North Wilkesboro, Talladega, the Brickyard 400, and the last race in the tour at Dover. Next row down sees car number 11. It is Adam Garcia. Number 83. It is Alex Miller. Next row is number 10, Paul Minnick, and number 98, Gene Samper. Next row down sees car number 20, Mitchell Collins, and 75, Laura Chung. Then it's Matt Haas and Jordan Anderson in the next row down, and number 33, Jacob Thibodeau has shotgun in the field. We mentioned that Dylan Young and Seth Cole have 2 of our in-car cameras. Well, our third one will lie inside the car of Charles Sanford. That's the third in-car camera for this event here today at Martinsville. As we mentioned, the points, well, it's looking like a 2-car battle so far this season between Jessica Shelton and Quentin Moore. Shelton took the points lead back, by the way, at Dover after Quentin had not really a good run at all at that racetrack here, but we'll see who all comes out on top. We'll see who comes out on top in this race here today. Not only that, but see how the points will stack up, though, after this race. Because remember, after this race, we are down to 5 races remaining after this race here. We go to North Wilkesboro next on the tour. Then after that will be Charlotte. Then after that will be Rockingham. Then Phoenix, and then Homestead. That's the last 5 races of the season for the Castrol GTX Cup Series for season 26. So as the field of 41 are lined up, here, ready for racing here today at Martinsville Speedway. We're about to get the command to fire the engines for this running of the Goody's 500. back at Martinsville Speedway as the pace car is ducked off on the pit road. The pit road entrance is in turn number 3. Well, for the pace car it is at least. Here as the field comes off turn number 4. Green flag is about to fly, and the Goody's 500 is on. And what a start Christian Russell and Nathan Ormond both got here on the start here as they come off turn number 2. Kyle Matthews with a poor start though, but didn't seem to lose all that much as he's in 3rd position right now. Here comes Quentin Moore to the low side. Quentin looking very racy here, coming off that 4th corner. Quentin started this race in 6th position. He's up to 4th now, trying for 3rd on Kyle Matthews as Christian Russell led the first lap of this race here. Russell, one of the rookies in the field, by the way, this season. And here comes Moore to the low side of Matthews as they battle for position. Kev Sheeran and Levi McIntyre side by side. Rob Evans gets by Jessica Shelton as they come off the 4th turn. Shelton going for the Martinsville sweep. She won the last time he was here, back in the first race we ran here this season. She looks inside of Evans now. A pair of blue and white cars here. One's a Ford, the other a Buick. As they come off to number 4, Kev Shear now gets by Levi McIntyre for position. And that will move Shelton up in the 7th place here. McIntyre in 6th and Shear in 5th. And now, meantime, Kyle Matthews has gotten back by Quentin Moore. But, oh, him and Quentin touch coming down the backstretch. Quentin squeezes in between Matthews and Kev Shear as they come off turn number 4. Laps here are not very long at Martinsville, about 20 seconds a lap around this racetrack here. Lap speed's about 90 miles an hour plus. In some cases, it's about 90 miles an hour plus. We've already seen one lap in the 90s. Well, made that 2 now. Christian Russell and Nathan Ormond have both run up in the 90 mile an hour range here. And let's see who else there. Matthews has run almost 91 miles an hour, as well as Ormond, Russell, and Quentin Moore and Kev Shear have all been 90 miles an hour or above each on the lap so far. As we look at the fast lap race so far, is still being held now by Kyle Matthews at 90.873 miles an hour. So top 5 laps up in about 90 miles an hour. Cole Deaver close to it at about 89.9. And Jessica Shelton and Levi McIntyre both at 89.8. So plus, not to mention too, on the track like this at Martinsville, though, they turn. I mean, I know we mention this every time we go to Martinsville, but the two things are hard on this racetrack here: engines and brakes. They are very hard on those two components on these race cars here. They turn such tremendous RPMs going into the turns, and of course, not to mention the fact there you go with the turns being with the straights being as long as they are. Straightaways are very long for a half-mile short track. However, the turns are very, very tight, much almost like you would see at the, like say turn 11 at Sonoma, somewhat. As we watch Keith Batson and Cole Deaver battling up for position as for 9th place. In fact, we'll jump inside one of those cars and see what we're talking about here. Here, let's jump inside the car of Charles Sanford. There you see him going through the turns here, about maybe 4,700 RPMs going into turn number 2, or come off turn number 2, through the middle of 1 and 2, and up to about 9,000 RPMs into turn number 3. So how much RPMs he turns going into turn number 1 here. Let's see, about 9,000. Up about maybe 9,200 going into turn number 1. And down about maybe 4,600 going into coming off turn number 2. It's a little squirrely off the second turn, about 9,250 going into turn 3. So there you see what I'm talking about there. You see the RPM, the tachometer right there square in the middle of your screen, where he sees all the single digit numbers, and the tachometer, of course, pegs at 10,000, which we don't see that much being used, obviously. And you see, as we watch Sanford now battling Ryan Brommer for position, that is for, I think that's for 16th position, 16th or 17th, one of the two. Yep, 16th, because Matt McIntyre's up ahead of him in 15th at the moment. But yeah, they're tough on engines, but like I said, they're even tougher on brakes going into as they go into turn because they use up a lot of brake at Martinsville. Wade Brummer and Dylan Poteet battling it out for position here. Brummer in 7 into 70, Poteet in 22. That is 18th and 19th on your screen. Dylan Young running in 20th at the moment as he now gets passed by Jesse Turner in the 94 car. Young and Turner both had poor qualifying runs, obviously for them, and they're both trying to make their way up as best as they can. Problem is, of course, the last couple seasons of the competition has been plenty stiff. Back to the leaders, it is still Christian Russell in car number 7 out in front in the Sarah Sanders Ford. That's the 1989 Alan Kwiecki colors he's driving here. Right behind him, Nathan Orman in a Valvoline Ford car number 6. It's amazing that the turnaround these two have had, though, like I said. And the problem I mentioned with these two, as I've mentioned before, though, the qualifying runs have been very, very exceptional, I should say. For Christian Russell, he's picked up on his qualifying a lot lately. He's sat on the pole 3 times in the last 4 races, but Nathan Orman has qualified well all season long. The problem that those two have had, of course, is that they always seem to run good, but some always seems to happen to them during the race, whether it's in the middle or late in the race, whichever. And something happens mechanically, or they get caught up in somebody else's stupidity. But those two have been very vocal about how their seasons have been going, but. If one of those two wins here, which it looks like at this moment, it's looking likely at the moment, but here again, we got now 55 laps remaining in this race, though, so a lot can happen here at Martinsville, and usually does pretty much. But right now, things are looking pretty good for Christian Russell and Nathan Orman right now. So they're first and second at the moment there. Matthews is in third. Fourth is Quentin Moore. Kev Shears fifth. 6th is Levi McIntyre. 7th, I should say, is Rob Evans. 8th is Jessica Shelton. 9th is Keith Batson. And Cole Deaver runs in 10th position. 11th is Ryan George. 12th is Zachary Fitzwater. 13th, Joshua Osborne. Seth Cole is in 14th position. 15th is Matt McIntyre. 16th, Charles Stanford. 17th is Ryan Brommer. That's how they run in the top 17 for the moment as you ride on board with Seth Cole chasing Joshua Osborne for position. I see the RPM's really low in Seth Cole, about 4,500 in the middle of 1 and 2, and up to about maybe 8,750 going into turn number 3. So Seth taking it plenty conservative, I should say, on how he drives his car. We didn't see it. We saw 92.50 earlier on Charles Sanford's car on his RPMs going into turn. I think it was turn 3 at here at this track. But again, CTS physics, of course, differs a lot from Cup physics, obviously, in this series. All the times we've done this series, obviously. I'm not sure which model I'm going to be. And by the way, as far as which model I'm going to be doing next season, I do not know which model I'm going to be doing next season, to be honest, for season 27. But we mentioned Ryan Brummer's 17th at the moment right now. Wade Brummer's 18th at this moment here. Dylan Poteet 19th. 20th is Jesse Turner. 21st is Jay Jefferson. 22nd, Dylan Young. Johnny Gardner's 23rd. 24th is Mike Becker. Zach Rogers 25th. Rogers with that win at Dover climbed up to 5th in the points. But not the run he's won here today at Martinsville for sure in that Skull Classic Oldsmobile. Going 26th right now is Phil Parker. 27th is Nathan Hudson. 28th is Jackson Haywood. 29th is Paul Minnick. 30th is Benjamin Miles and Cat Batson. Matt Haas, Mitchell Collins, Jacob Thibodeau's 34th, William Brockstown the 35th, and Henry Sanford, Adam Garcia, Miller, Anderson, Gene Sanford, and Laura Chung in 41st, and that lands us back to Christian Russell, who leads this race there. But Nathan Ormond is closing up in that number 6 car. Now, obviously, as you well know, though, in Martinsville, catching him is one thing, but passing him is a whole other story. But when you got lap traffic mixed in there, then the unpredictable is usually almost always the end result. You know, you don't know how much how the leaders are going to make it through the traffic, or if it benefits either the second place or third place, or even further back, as far as who takes the lead, who keeps the lead, or who doesn't keep the lead, whichever. Oh, Russell slip going into turn number 1. Here comes Orman to the low side for the lead. Side by side into turn number 3, but Russell puts the foot on the floor on number 7, Zerix Ford, and keeps the lead for the moment. Though you do see that occasionally going into turn number 1, they'll slip going into turn, and the second place car can either get a run on them and not make the pass, or they'll get lucky and they'll make the pass going into the turn and take the lead, or whatever position they're battling for. But not only is Orman back into it, but so is Kyle Matthews in the 42 car. He's up to third. He's in third position, trying to get past Orman for second. We should mention for Nathan Orman, his best finish this season has been second twice. And number 6, Valvoline Ford, he finished. I think he finished second at Dover, but he also finished second at earlier this season at Atlanta. Quentin Moore, we mentioned, is running 4th. 5th position is Kev Shearer in the Country Time Oldsmobile. He ran really good in this race last season. Levi McIntyre in 6th position. He won the season at New Hampshire. Rob Evans won the season at Texas. He's running in 7th right now in the Ray Bessis Buick. Jessica Shelton's won twice this season so far. She won here earlier this season, and she also won on the road course at Sonoma. So Shelton looking pretty strong here. Not letting Quentin Moore close up, or not letting Quentin Moore get very far ahead of her in this race, I should say, too. Keith Batson's in 9th position, and again, 10th is Cole Deaver. Batson's won once this season. That came at the second race at Richmond, while Cole Deaver won way back in the second race of the season at Rockingham. Both those two, by the way, are in the top 10 in the points coming into this race. Ryan George, he won a season at Michigan earlier this season. The first stop at Michigan this season. Number 14, Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet. Zachary Fitzwater, he won the first stop at Pocono. The first Pocono stop this season. He won that race. The Hardee's Pontiac. Joshua Osborne, he won the first Dover stop this season. The Mom and Pop's Goodwrench Chevy. Been kind of a up and down year somewhat for Osborne, though. He's still up there in the top 5 in the points coming in this event. But seeing his hopes for a 4th championship fall further and further back a little bit as the race goes on, or as the season goes on. Seth Cohen, 52, he's had kind of a meh season so far. Him, much like Levi McIntyre in the 17 has so far. McIntyre did climb back up the 20th in the points coming out of the race at Dover. Seth Cole, however, well, sometimes if it weren't for bad luck, he wouldn't have any the way this season's going, though. Looked like he had to win wrapped up at Richmond the race in that race, though. It looked like he had his first win of the season there. Keith Batson made a run on going into turn number 3 and beat him in that race on the last lap. Matt McIntyre, Richmond was one of his wins this season, but it was back in the first stop at Richmond this season, the third race of the season. He also won that exciting race at California earlier this season, too, in the Quaker State Ford. Matt looking strong here. Of course, he's always been strong. Of course, he has since that California win has slipped back a bunch in the points in that Quaker State Ford, though. So Matt's, I'm sure, not satisfied with where he's probably going to be ending up this season, possibly. But especially considering how good this team ran with Quentin Moore driving last season as a Buick. Charles Sanford, well, his season has been kind of iffy as well, too, somewhat, too. Sanford did win twice this season before. He won that race at Atlanta where Orman finished second. And he also won on a road course at Riverside in front of his home state fans at California. Sanford right now running 16th at the moment here. Ryan Brommer's in 17th position. They haven't quite skunked him this season because he did win on the fuel mileage race at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca-Cola 600 in that crazy fuel mileage finish over there, where everybody pitted within the last 10 laps of that race, though, and it cost pretty much. We didn't know who in the heck was going to win that race pretty much here, but Brommer made it 2 races in a row. Charlotte, where we had first-time winners, though. Alex Miller did the race prior to that, Charlotte race prior to that in the Mello Yellow 500 last season. And now Brommer keeps the first wins tradition alive at Charlotte. Well, for the last 2 races at least. Will it happen again when we go back to the Mello Yellow 500? Well, we'll find out. Right, if that's the case, Wade Brummer hopes to be that guy to win that first one too at Charlotte, as Brummer has not yet won this season. The number 70 Rumpel Furniture Pontiac, he did win the 125 qualifier at Daytona this season, though, but that's pretty much the only thing he's done this season so far. Dylan Poteet runs in 19th position right now in the number 22 Maxwell House Ford. Poteet, I was gonna say I did say Zach Rogers won at Dover the last race on the tour, but I stand corrected on who won that race at Dover. It was this man who won at Dover. Dylan Poteet won that race, I should say. So yeah, I'm sorry, my brain's like scrambled eggs here, but anyway, Dylan Poteet won that last race on the tour at Dover as he won the PK Race 400. It was his first one in a long time. As we mentioned, the man who formerly ran the Mountain Dew Racing Series, and of course the now defunct Mopar Nationwide Series. Of course, if you remember those 2 seasons going way back in the NNSCRA Inner 2003 universe. But Poteet, of course, like guys like Joshua Osborne, also one of the original stars in this series, as well as the man in the 8 car, Johnny Gardner. There he is in a Snickers Buick, though. Gardner won a season at Bristol. Dylan Young, he won the second race at Michigan. Jay Jefferson, he's been close a couple times, but not yet quite snatched the brass ring yet, this season at least. And Jesse Turner snatched the brass ring this season at the Pepsi 400 down in Daytona, so that was one of his big wins this season. Mike Becker, well, he's been kind of up and down that number 43 car in the STP Pontiac, though. His season not quite going as well as he hoped. He will be back with he'll be back with a 43 ride next season, but of course now which ride he's going to have, which which mod he's going to be under. Well, like I said, I'm not quite sure which mod I'm going to be doing. As I said, for this coming season or upcoming season, I should say. Zach Rogers, 3 wins this season so far in the number 1 Skull Classic Oldsmobile. Season started off kind of rocky this season, though, but he is moving up in the points, though. Rogers, one of the top contenders in this series for sure, that Skull Classic Oldsmobile. He's been top 5 in the points the last 2 seasons, and he's shooting for a 3rd straight season this season, too. Phil Parker, he won the Daytona 500 this season, though, but unfortunately his season not quite what he expected, too. It's been kind of a down season for the man they call the Raging Cajun. Nathan Hudson, well, they didn't quite skunk him this season, too, though he won the night race at Bristol this season, the Skull Classic Crown Petroleum Oldsmobile. And Nathan Hudson running right now in 27th position here. Jackson Haywood, he won the second stop at Talladega this season in the Motorcraft Ford, while Paul Minnick got a great finish in that race at Talladega. He in the number 10 car. He had a pretty good race at Pocono, too, the race before that. But Minnick not running good right now in 29th position. Benjamin Miles in 30th and 31st. At the moment is the car of Cat Batson. Back up front here is Christian Russell, still the leader, with second place still Nathan Orman. They're still trying to get by the 75 car of Laura Chung. They've been doing that for the last few laps while we've been going through the field. Nathan Orman is still second, and Kyle Matthews still remains in third position as the laps are clicking off. For this will complete lap number 58. We will have 17 laps to go. Check the fast lap race so far. Fast lap race so far is still being held by Kyle Matthews, this time at 91.465 miles an hour. All 10 cars, in fact, over 91 miles an hour. Matthews, Evans, Ormond, Russell, Sanford, Batson, Moore, Shelton, Shear, and Fitzwater. Cab Shear now trying to get around Quentin Moore in a 21 car. There you see the look. There you see how it looks like right there. Nathan Orman goes to the inside of Russell for the lead. Not quite enough there, but meantime, Kyle Matthews closed up on Orman. He takes a peek to the low side now, going into turn number 3. Matthews up on the back bumper of Nathan Orman's car, looking for second place. Matthews slipped just a little bit. Now here comes Quentin Moore. Takes a look to the low side. Matthews goes up high. Moore tries to go low. Meantime, Cab Shear had thoughts of going low on Ormond, or I should say Moore, I should say right now, as they come up to number 4. That was close, and Moore keeps fourth for the moment, but here comes... They come down through turns 1 and 2 at the moment here off the second turn. Russell still trying to get around the 75 of Laura Chung. I don't know if it's going to be a help or a hindrance to him or whatever, but anyway... Off turn number 4 here, we are now coming up on 10 laps remaining. It was 11 to go this time by here. Be 10 to go next time by. Nathan Orman closed up on the back of Christian Russell now. Check to see what the lap speeds are this time by here. Russell that time by 89.182 for Russell, while for Orman 89.418. So he is closing. Orman to the back bumper of Christian Russell into turn number 3. Try, but can't quite do it. 9 laps to go. Off turn number 4 here, Orman to the inside. He says go. Russell says no. 8 laps remaining. Christian Russell knows if he slips going into turn number 1 or any time in this race, though, then Orman's right by him. Those two drivers are looking for their first career Castrol GTX Cup Series victories. The question is which one's going to be doing it. Kyle Matthews also looking for his first win, but it's the first win of the season. He's won many times before in this series. They're talking about the 40 man and the 42 car. That 75 car is giving Christian Russell a lot of trouble here today, obviously, in the last many laps as we've run the last few laps of this race. 6 to go. And now finally Russell goes inside of Laura Chung to try to put her a lap down. But he can't quite make a stick as they come up to number 4. This completes lap number 70. We have 5 to go. Orman again sneaks up to the back of Russell's car as they come off turn number 2. Matthews is not out of this yet neither. That number 42 car, he could sneak in and surprise possibly too. If those two get together, Matthews is in third. Let's remember. As close as those three are running, though, I don't know if any of those, I don't know if it'll be what's going to happen. Like I said, though, that's going to be the question. Orman goes up the high side here, leaves room for Matthews. Matthews too far back to try to get a run at him. Off turn number 2 here, Russell has got 2.5 laps remaining. Four-tenths of a second the last time between the front two cars. Let's see what it is this time by. And the margin is now 4,200, so he did gain that time by. All Christian Russell's got to do is to stay smooth, and he's got that first career victory in his pocket. He's always said that. He's always said the last few races he can't. No matter what he tries to do, he can't seem to win one of these races. For no matter what he does, white flag is out though. He's got about 15 seconds before he rethinks that thought. But Orman trying to make one more run at him as they go on to turn number 3 here. Let's see what happens through turns 3 and 4. Orman closes up. He drives it in hard. Not going to be enough. And how about a first-time winner? Christian Russell wins at Martinsville. Christian Russell starts from the pole and wins here today at Martinsville Speedway. Nathan Orman comes home second. Kyle Matthews comes home third. Fourth will go to Quentin Moore. And Kev Shearer will end up finishing fifth. So 29 races are in the books, and 5 races I should say, left remaining in the season here. Average speed 89.989 miles an hour, almost 90 miles an hour on the average. Several cars crashing into each other here. We're hearing, I should say, too. Levi McIntyre will finish 6th, Rob Evans 7th, Jessica Shelton 8th, 9th will go to Keith Batson, and Cole Deaver will finish in 10th position here. Then Zachary Bitswater, Seth Cole, Joshua Osborne, Matt McIntyre, and Charles Samper, the top 15. And then the rest of the order will be like this. It goes Ryan Brommer, Dylan Poteet, Jesse Turner, Wade Brummer, and Jay Jefferson. Then Johnny Gardner, Dylan Young, Mike Becker, Zach Rogers, Phil Parker, Nathan Hudson, Jackson Haywood, Paul Minnick, Benjamin Miles, and Cat Batts in the top 30. Matt Haas, Mitchell Collins, Jacob Thibodeau, William Brock, Henry Sanford, Adam Garcia, Alex Miller, Jordan Anderson, Gene Sanford, Laura Chung was the 40 cars to finish this race here. Ryan George, who had a great run going on, ends up with a header failure and ends up finishing last in this race here today. He was running about 11th when it all happened. When a header failure happened too. It's for all intents and purposes, it's something internally wrong with the engine. Is what the problem was. But how about a first-time winner here? Christian Russell gets his first career victory in the Castrol GTX Cup Series as he wins the Goodies 500 here. Now he can't say he can't win a race anymore now because he's got one career win for the moment. So that will do it here today at Martinsville Speedway. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got inner races, we got gaming videos, we got inner online videos. Whatever the president of the NNSCRA set goes our first channel, be sure to check out Seth's Duracell Cup Series. Also on his channel too, and you will not regret checking his races out. You will not regret checking his races out neither. I guarantee his races are a lot better than what I have to offer too. Plus, simply because he's been doing it longer than I have too. So that will do it today at Martinsville Speedway here. Congratulations again to Christian Russell, the winner at the Goodies 500. For now, this is James Qualls. This has been a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. We will see you in the Brushy Mountains of North Wilkesboro for the Holly Farms 400.